human creativity. Oftentimes that means making things, and if you explore the museum, you'll see lots of like robots and 3D printers and technology and things like that, but there are all different sorts of ways of expressing creativity and making things together. And so we're very fortunate that the Josiah Quincy School Orchestra is here today to make music together and share it with you. So can you all please join me in welcoming them to Boston Children's Museum? I hope you enjoy this afternoon's performance. I'm going to pass the microphone over to my friend, Micah.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, I'm so proud to have the Josiah Quincy Orchestra, and our orchestra is one of 7 orchestras at the Josiah Quincy program. And this is Villa-Lobos, so say hi, Villa-Lobos. Hi. Villa-Lobos, say hi, Boston Children's Museum. So we're very excited to be here, along with my colleague, Bengizu, and she's here. She's our violin teaching artist. So just a quick little blurb about what the Josiah Quincy program is. So we are a partnership with Boston Public Schools, and the very unique thing that we do is that we have 7 orchestras, like I mentioned, and we meet every single morning before school begins. And all these fine young people get to play an orchestra every single morning during every single school day, which is pretty amazing. And if how many people have never seen an orchestra in person before? Wow, only a couple people, good. How many people have ever played an orchestral instrument before? Violin, viola, cello, or bass? Not many. So in the spirit of creativity, in the spirit of what it takes to be in an orchestra, we're going to show you the process in which we, as an orchestra, learn how to play together. Because one of the most important things about playing in an orchestra is making sure that we all play as a group, as a team. And there's nothing harder, in my opinion, than getting I'm a professional orchestral musician, and sometimes we have 100 people on stage, and we all have to play something together. Very, very challenging. So here's a look into a day-to-day life of what we do here at Villa-Lobos. So the first thing we do every morning, so anyone want to take a guess? Raise your hand what's one of the hardest things you think about when you think about playing an orchestra? What's one of the hardest things to do? Yeah. Yes, sir, back there. Learning all the keys, absolutely right. There's a lot of different notes to play in music, absolutely. And going along that, learning about keys, one of the biggest things is playing in tune, right? We all have a really great sense of pitch. Whether or not we play an instrument, we can tell when something's out of tune and when it's not. So for us, we begin every single morning by singing, because singing is one of the greatest ways to learn how to play in tune. So we have a warm-up we call do, re, do, and we have 2 versions. Along with those keys, there's major keys that sound really nice and bright and very happy, and then we have minor keys, which sound sad and very dark. So we do both. So here we go, do, re, do. And I know that you guys were practicing your conducting, right? Let's practice our conducting. Here we go. With me, 1, 2, 3, 4. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. We're going to conduct them. Let's start our do, re, do. So before we start, do is C. So our principal cellist plays his low C. And we go do. Good. Here we go. Let's conduct them. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do, re, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, ti, do. Do, ti, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Excellent. So that was our major. Yeah, give a round of applause. Let me tell you, if they're singing, I am the world's worst singer. I promise you that. And so to get on stage and to sing, especially as a group, is one of the most terrifying things. So I think they deserve another round of applause. Excellent, guys. So as I mentioned, we go from major to minor. And so how do we get to minor, which starts on a la? So what we do is we hear our do again. So we have do, which is C, and we go like this. Do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la, ti, la, ti, do, ti, la. And that's our minor. So let's try it. Here's our do, everybody. So, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la,
ti, la, ti, do, ti, la, ti, do, re, do, ti, la, ti, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, sol, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la.
Excellent, guys. Very good. So of course, we're not a choir, right? So singing would be kind of unusual if we didn't play our instruments. So going along the lines of learning how to play in tune as an orchestra, now we have to play and learn how to be in sync with each other so that we're playing the same way. So what we do is we take that singing and we start adding our instruments. So we do a C major scale. So we start on do and they're gonna sing do through the whole scale as they play their instrument. So let's check it out. Here we go, ready? C major scale, ready? Excellent, guys. Really great. So then once we get used to playing a scale while singing our solfege, then we make it even more complicated. And we do what we call a round. Has anyone ever heard what a round is? What's a round, buddy? That's absolutely right. When people start at different times, so we're going to do the same scale, but this time we're going to do a two-part round. So our low strings, violas and cellos, are going to start, and then we're going to add the violins, and they're going to be playing. So in music, wouldn't it be nice if we played the same thing all together, all of us, at any moment? But that's not how orchestra is. In orchestra, we could have 15 different things going on, right? 15 different people playing different things. So we have to learn, as an orchestra, we have to learn how to play it with our own independent parts. So here we go. use simple major scales, minor scales. We sing, and I think they sound really, really well in tune. Wouldn't you say so? Yeah. So for this school year, we've only met 7 full weeks, and albeit the fact that we get to meet every single day, which, by the way, is a really tremendous thing. The fact that they get to meet every single day is one of the things that makes the Josiah Quincy so amazing of a place. And lucky as we are, it takes a long time for us to get to this level. And so what we do is we start slowly incorporating actual songs. And so we have a piece that we're still working on, but we're halfway through it, and they sound incredible up to this point. But it's Simple Gifts. And I'm sure you're going to be familiar with that. I'm sure you've heard it at some point. But Simple Gifts comes from a composer named Aaron Copland. And the last thing we do as an orchestra, because we wouldn't be an orchestra if we didn't listen to as orchestras play. So every single morning, I challenge these fine young people to listen to a new piece of music, and we learn every single day a new piece of music, a new composers. So one week we may do all French music, and we'll listen to French orchestras, and then another day we'll do all, say, Latin American music, and then the next week we'll do all German music. And we've gone through so many songs, but listening to orchestras also helps us learn how to play better as an orchestra. But here's Simple Gifts from Aaron Copland. So the first thing I want to do is show you the process that we do in breaking everything apart. And in music, like I said, we have many different parts, right? Often there's a melody, the part that we all like to sing along to, but then underneath that part, we have what we call harmony. So in this particular version of Simple Gifts, the violins start the piece by being our harmony, and they lay the foundation for the key. And the cellos and violas have the melody at the beginning. And at the halfway through, guess what happens? They flip-flop. And our violas and cellos suddenly have the harmony, and the violins take over with the melody. So here's our violin opening, our harmony. And we want to be nice and delicate and beautiful so that we support our melody. And then, like I said, later on we have the melody. So here's the melody. Just violin, guys. Here we go. Ready? That's our violin. So now, at the beginning of the piece, we have violas and cellos. So here we go, cellos, violas. Sound familiar? We've heard this, maybe. Here we go. Here's our harmony. Measure 11, everybody. So once we separate the parts, then we try to put it all together and we see what happens. So let's try it. beautiful start. And so I would like to take this time to ask, does anyone have any questions? Anybody curious about the other things an orchestra can do? So I invite all of us, we're gonna learn a D major scale together, a C major scale rather. So I want these guys to help us teach you how to sing a C major scale. Let's try it, here we go. So here's our do. We're gonna go note by note. Here we go, guys. Do. Can you match us? Do. Next note. Re. And then fa. So very much, everybody. And like I said, we're so happy that we got to, this was our first performance as an orchestra this year. So I want to congratulate them myself that they did an amazing job. And with that, the other nice thing about us being here is, for all of you interested, we are going to stay after this, right outside. You may have noticed some tables. We are going to let any very curious young minds learn about our instruments. So we're going to have an instrument petting zoo. So every single one of these fine young people are going to bring their instrument, and they're going to show you how you can play either a cello, a viola, or a violin. So you can meet us right outside in the front in the next 5 minutes, all right? Thank you again. Thank you.